Zero savings, zero investments, a few grand of debt sitting on a credit card somewhere. That's where millions of people in this country are right now. And if that's you, or if you've just gone through a financial reset and you're genuinely starting again, this is the exact order I'd tackle my money in, step by step, right now, in 2026. Because here's the thing, nobody actually tells you. It's not complicated. Managing your money well in 2026 doesn't require a finance degree, a big salary, or some secret the wealthy are hiding from you. It requires a sequence, a specific order of operations. And if you follow it, step by step, without skipping ahead, everything else starts to fall into place. I'm going to walk you through that sequence today, and I'm not going to pad this out. By the time this video's over, you'll know exactly what to do first, what to do second, and what most people get completely backwards. Quick one before we go any deeper. I am not a financial advisor. Everything in this video is education, not personal advice. Always speak to a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. What I'm sharing here is the framework I'd use. You need to apply it to your own situation. And if you're getting any value from this, genuinely hitting that subscribe button means more than you know. It costs you nothing, takes 2 seconds, and it helps me keep making these for free. I'm truly grateful to every single one of you who's here. Right, step 1. And this is where most people never even start, which is exactly why they stay stuck. You need to know your number, not your income, not what your payslip says, your actual take-home number, what lands in your bank account, and then, more importantly, where it all goes. Because here's something that's quietly getting worse for millions of people in the UK right now. The personal tax allowance, the amount you can earn before you pay any income tax, has been frozen at £12,570. It hasn't moved since 2021, and it's locked there until at least 2028. Meanwhile, wages are going up. The median UK salary is now sitting at around £35,000 to £40,000 a year. And what that means is this: every single year that passes, more and more of your pay slips quietly into a higher tax band without you ever consciously deciding to earn more. They call it fiscal drag, and it is effectively a stealth tax on every working person in this country. So step 1 is this: open a spreadsheet or just your notes app, I really don't care, and write down 3 numbers. Number 1, your monthly take-home pay after tax and national insurance. This is your true starting point, not your gross salary, what actually lands. Number 2, your essential expenses, rent or mortgage, council tax, utilities, food, transport, minimum debt payments. Add every single one up. Number 3, everything else. And I want you to be honest here. Subscriptions you've forgotten about, takeaways, rounds at the pub, the gym membership you haven't used since February. This is what I call your spending leakage. Because that third number, the gap between your take-home and your essentials, that is your lever. That's the money you actually have control over. And most people have absolutely no idea what it is. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people in this country are living inside their financial chaos rather than managing it. They know roughly what comes in. They have no idea what goes out. And you cannot fix what you cannot see. So before you invest a single pound, before you think about ISAs, before you do anything, know your number. This one step alone will change how you think about money forever. But here's where it gets interesting. Because once you know your number, the next decision most people make is completely wrong, and it's costing them years. Most people, once they feel motivated about their money, jump straight to investing. They see a video about the stock market. They open an account. They put in £50 a month, and they feel like they're doing something. And they are doing something. They're just doing it in the completely wrong order. Here's the sequence. This is the framework I'd follow from zero. First floor, the mini emergency fund. Before you pay down debt aggressively, before you invest, before anything, you need a small financial buffer, around £1,000, sitting in an easy access account. This is not an investing account. This is your car breaks down, boiler packs in, life happens fund. Without it, the moment something unexpected hits, you go straight back to debt, and the cycle never breaks. And here's why the timing matters right now. The new UK tax year started on the 6th of April 2026. You have a fresh £20,000 ISA allowance. For your emergency fund, I'd look at an easy access cash ISA rates. Right now are sitting at around 4.7 to 4.8%. Your money is growing whilst it sits there. It's protected from tax, and you can access it instantly if you need it. Don't overthink it. Just get it parked somewhere sensible. Second floor, destroy your high interest debt. Once you've got that buffer, any debt charging you more than around 6% interest, credit cards, store cards, high rate personal loans, that becomes your target. You are not going to reliably beat a 25 to 30% credit card APR in the stock market. It is a mathematical impossibility. Pay it off. I prefer the avalanche method. Highest interest rate first, because it saves you the most money over time. But if you need the psychological win, the snowball method, smallest balance first, works too. The best debt payoff strategy is the one you'll actually stick to. One exception here, and this is important. Do not stop your employer pension contributions whilst you're paying off debt. Why? Because of this. Third floor, claim the free money. If you're employed and auto-enrolled into a workplace pension, your employer is legally required to contribute at least 3% of your qualifying earnings. You contribute a minimum of 5%. Total, at least 8% going into your pension. That employer contribution, that is free money. An instant return on your pension contribution the moment it lands, before a single investment grows. If you opt out of your pension to clear debt faster, you are walking away from the best guaranteed return available anywhere in personal finance. Keep the minimum contributions going, smash the high interest debt. Then, once it's gone, redirect that money upward. And this is the part nobody talks about. Because once you've cleared the debt and claimed the free pension money, most people think they're done. They're not even halfway there. Let me tell you about the part that actually builds real lasting wealth. And I want you to lean in here, because this is where your future self is either going to thank you or be absolutely furious at you. Fourth floor, the ISA stack. An ISA individual savings account is a tax wrapper. The money inside it grows completely free from UK income tax and capital gains tax forever. You pay no tax when you take it out. It is, in my view, the single most powerful financial tool available to a regular person in the United Kingdom. Now, here's something I need you to understand, because the clock is ticking. From April 2027 next tax year, the rules are changing. If you're under 65, the maximum you'll be allowed to save into a cash ISA drops from £20,000 down to just £12,000. The remaining £8,000 of your annual allowance will need to go into an investing ISA, a stocks and shares ISA. What does that mean for you? It means this tax year, the one that just started 6 days ago, is your last year of complete flexibility to use the full £20,000, however you choose. If you've been sitting on the fence about your ISA, the fence has an expiry date, and it's approaching. And this isn't by accident, by the way, whether it's the algorithm or the universe. You're watching this right now because something in you already knows there's a better way to handle your money. That feeling is worth acting on. Now, when it comes to your stocks and shares ISA, the investing wrapper, I want you to keep this beautifully simple. This is not the place for picking individual stocks, not the place for chasing hot tips, following trends, or trying to time the market. Most people who try that lose money. Most of the professionals who try that lose money. Index funds, low-cost, globally diversified index tracking funds. Something like the FTSE All-World or an S&P 500 tracker held inside your ISA on a low-cost platform like Vanguard, Invest Engine, or Free Trade. Annual fees as low as 0.15 to 0.25%. Set it up. Leave it alone. Now let me give you the truth bomb, and I genuinely want you to sit with this. If you'd invested just £300 a month into a globally diversified index fund inside a stocks and shares ISA consistently For 20 years, at an average historical return of around 8%, you'd have roughly £180,000 today. Tax-free, not because you were clever, not because you found the right stock, because you were consistent, you started, and you let time do the heavy lifting that most people are too impatient to allow. The fifth floor, everything else. Once your ISA is funded and your pension is growing, you look at boosting pension contributions above the minimum. The annual allowance is £60,000 for 2026, or a lifetime ISA if you're under 40 and buying your first home, or if you're already there building taxable investment accounts on top. But none of that matters until floors 1 through 4 are solid. Most people skip to floor 5 before they've even built the ground floor. And when the storms come, and they always come, the whole thing collapses. But here's what this actually means for your money, and I want to make this real for you right now. This isn't theoretical. This is what I would actually do in the next 7 days if I was starting from zero today. Days 1 and 2, the money audit. Pull up your last 3 months of bank statements. Not to feel guilty, just to see the truth. Calculate your actual take-home. Calculate your essentials. Find the leakage. Write it down. That's it. Just see it. Days 3 and 4, open the right account. An easy access cash ISA for your emergency fund. The new tax year means you've got a clean £20,000 to work with. Set up an automatic transfer, even if it's just £50, so that saving becomes a habit, not a decision you have to make every month. Days 5 and 6, check your pension. Log into your workplace pension. Find out what your employer is contributing. Make sure you're getting the full match. If you're not contributing enough to unlock the maximum employer contribution, increase it. That is the fastest guaranteed return available to anyone watching this video right now. Day 7. Make one decision about debt. Not all of it, just one. If you have high interest debt, write down the balance and the interest rate. Decide avalanche or snowball. Pick one. Start there. One decision. This week, drop a comment below. What's your money priority right now? Building your emergency fund, clearing debt, or starting to invest? I read every single comment, and your answer might shape the next video. Look, the UK financial system was not designed to make any of this simple. Between frozen personal allowances, fiscal drag, employer NI changes, and ISA rule updates arriving in 2027, there's a lot of noise out there, and most people tune it out. But you're still here, and that matters. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to start with a lot of money. You need to start with the right order, build the floor, clear the chaos, claim the free money, invest consistently, and let time do what it has always done. The people who will be financially free in 10 years are not the ones with the highest salaries. They're the ones who started in the right order and didn't stop. So the question I'm leaving you with is this: which floor are you currently on? And what's the one thing you could do this week to start building the next one? If this video helped you, please hit like. It tells the algorithm this is worth showing to more people, and it means someone else gets to see this too. Subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a full breakdown of how to choose your first stocks and shares ISA platform coming next week. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one.